Welcome to Love and Lies Audio, where we present to you the untold tales of love, lies, and life after betrayal. Every heartbreak has a voice, and this is theirs. I never imagined that a simple text could change my entire world. The kind of message that sneaks into your phone, innocent at first glance, but loaded with a weight that feels like it could crush you from the inside. That's how it started. It was late, the kind of Boston night when the chill bites through your jacket and the streets are empty except for the occasional jogger or dog walker. I was sitting in the living room, nursing a beer, scrolling mindlessly through my phone when a notification popped up. From Emma. Just a normal "hey" text, but something about it felt off. Detached. Calculated. I hadn't seen her smile that evening. The way she moved around the kitchen earlier, washing dishes while humming a tune, had been mechanical. She looked right through me, and I ignored it, told myself it was stress from work, a rough day. But the text, that tiny, insignificant string of letters, made me pause. I opened it. "Can't wait to see you tonight." And then it hit me, the emoji, the casual tone. She was writing this to someone else, someone she called Mark. I froze. My hands shook. I wanted to throw my phone across the room, scream, demand explanations, but I didn't. Something inside me clicked. A quiet, lethal sort of clarity that doesn't need yelling. It was like the storm had passed, leaving a dangerous calm behind. I stared at the message over and over. Mark, the neighbor next door. The perfect family facade. Every weekend dinner we had with them. Every barbecue, every casual wave across the fence now felt like a carefully constructed lie. I didn't confront her immediately. No, that would have been too easy, too human. I had learned something over the years. The most satisfying revenge isn't loud, it's invisible. It creeps in, subtle and unavoidable. And I had time. The next morning, Emma acted normal. Too normal. She kissed me on the cheek, asked about my plans for the day, and I smiled, hiding the storm inside me. I didn't know then that my smile was the last thing she'd ever misinterpret as oblivion. Days turned into weeks. I started small, observing, not out of suspicion, though suspicion was a flame, but out of calculation. Where did she go after work? Who did she text before bed? Every interaction, every casual conversation, I cataloged in my mind. Every lie she told herself was a truth I would eventually expose. Mark. I watched him from a distance, pretending ignorance while noting his habits, his comings and goings. The neighbor who greeted me with fake smiles and subtle digs about my life. I realized he wasn't just a random affair. He was part of a meticulous game Emma had been playing for months, maybe years. I began my retaliation carefully. Not with rage, not with shouting, but with strategy. I restructured my life around subtle power. I reconnected with friends Emma had dismissed, colleagues she had belittled. Every connection became a potential instrument, a quiet reminder of the life she thought she controlled. At home, I created boundaries. I tracked finances meticulously, logged her behavior without letting her know. The idea wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Preparation for the day she finally understood that I wasn't broken, that I had rebuilt myself stronger than before, and she had no part in it. Then came the night I finally confronted her. Not in anger, not in tears, but with undeniable clarity. She walked in expecting tension, drama, maybe tears. What she got was silence. Silence that spoke louder than anything else could. "Emma," I said softly, "I know about Mark." She froze. The dishes she was washing clattered in the sink, and I watched her posture falter. Her eyes widened, searching mine for anger or betrayal, and found only calm. Calm that was colder than any fury. What do you mean?" she stammered. "I mean, I know," I replied, my voice steady. "Every dinner, every weekend, every casual wave across the fence. I know." Her facade cracked. Not completely, she was clever, but the mask slipped for a fraction of a second. That's all I needed. Over the next weeks, I enacted my plan. Subtle, quiet, unavoidable. I invited Mark over under the guise of neighborhood goodwill. I introduced him to mutual friends as the new project partner in my work, a man of integrity and reliability. Emma watched, her face a mixture of suspicion and panic, as I subtly rewired the social circle she had believed belonged to her. Every lie she had counted on to stay invisible was exposed, not with shouting, but with small, perfect precision. Invitations she assumed she controlled were redirected. Her influence began to erode silently, inexorably. And then the coup de grace. I arranged a casual dinner, only the three of us. Emma thought it was a reconciliation. Mark thought it was a casual catch-up. I served wine, smiles, laughter. Everything appeared normal. Halfway through, I let the truth slide casually into conversation. A joke about boundaries, a passing remark about honesty, and I watched Emma's expression twist. The careful image she had curated was unraveling in real time. Mark's oblivion, he had no idea she was married when they began this, became the perfect instrument. Emma's attempts to manage both of us fell apart. Her carefully spun web turned to ash while I remained composed, unshaken, untouchable. I continued building my separate life. Nights spent with friends, mornings spent jogging along the Charles River, afternoons in cafes planning my next professional move. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Emma's arrogance, her belief in her invincibility, became my ally. Every smug text, every secret smile intended for Mark only reinforced my plan. Weeks turned into months. Emma tried every manipulation she could conjure, subtle accusations, half-hearted seduction attempts, even hints of emotional breakdowns. I met every maneuver with quiet observation. I had learned that the loudest explosions of anger rarely brought satisfaction. The quiet, relentless accumulation of power, of independent life, of subtle exposure, did. By the time Emma realized she had lost control, I had already won. My social circle respected me, my finances were secure, my life vibrant in a way she could never touch. She confronted me once, late at night, expecting a fight. I met her in the living room, calm, poised, and she knew in that instant she had lost. "Ethan, please," she whispered. "No," I said, "not please. You made your choices. I'm just living mine." And that was the last night I ever felt the need to argue, to explain, to justify. The neighborhood knew me as the quiet, competent man. And Emma, well, she learned the hard way that deceit has consequences, and that sometimes revenge is not a public spectacle but a life rebuilt so silently, so completely, that the betrayer is left with nothing but reflection and regret. I started dating again, carefully, deliberately, with women who appreciated the man I had become. Emma watched from the sidelines, powerless. I didn't need to humiliate her publicly. The slow, methodical dismantling of her world was sufficient. By the time the summer ended, Emma had moved out, the lease for our house transferred, her influence gone. I kept the neighborhood cordial, polite, but the truth lingered in every casual greeting, every wave across the fence. I had survived, and more importantly, I had reclaimed my life. The lesson was clear. Quiet, deliberate, emotionally intelligent revenge always outlasts fury. Anger fades, a rebuilt life endures. And as I sat on my porch, overlooking the Boston skyline at dusk, sipping a glass of wine and smiling to myself, I realized I had been free all along. I had simply waited until I was ready to take it back. Thanks for listening. If life has tested your loyalty, betrayal, or strength, tell us your story in the comments. Subscribe to Love and Lies Audio because some victories speak loudest in silence.